Hello guys, it's me Daniel96 back here for another video, and today we'll be making our round 6 tips of the 2024 AFL season. So yeah, before we get started, let's have a look at our round 5 results. And wow, what a round it was, filled with upsets. I did not expect some of these results. We only managed to get 4 out of the 8 tips correct this round, and yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest rounds that we've done. I mean, first of all, Brisbane somehow got it done against Melbourne at the G. I mean, they never win there, and they somehow did. The Bulldogs lost against the Bombers, and that was a massive surprise considering, well, Essendon got smashed the week before, and yeah, some red flags are showing. Going down here, and well, the Giants got themselves the win just by a single point. I don't know how. Carlton, a team that were 4-0. Lose to a team that was 0-4 against the Crows. I mean, how did this happen? Gold Coast got the win against Hawthorn, which was not surprising. And Port, I mean, again, just got it done. And then down here, well, Geelong, I mean, we all saw that coming, but we did not see this coming. I mean, West Coast. I mean, if West Coast is winning in this round, then something's up. Yeah, but all these games were massive. I mean, particularly this Saturday, it was definitely a good watch. I mean, there was many thrillers, 3 thrillers in that one day, and yeah, what a round it was. And now you can see our predicted margins versus the actual in this round, and it was definitely not as good. Definitely needs some improvement, but considering the amount of upsets, and I guess it's understandable, but yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest rounds. I think the hardest round we've done. So yeah, now that round 5 is done, let's now move on to round 6. Alright, so here we are for round 6, and this sets up to be a really big round. So let's get things underway with the Thursday night game between St Kilda and the Western Bulldogs. Looks like this game is going to be played at Marvel Stadium, and yeah, what a game this sets up to be. I mean, there will be consequences to whoever loses this game. I mean, first of all, St Kilda again didn't play well in the first half, but then they did manage to come back, and they almost got it done, but it just wasn't enough, and they get another close loss. Whereas the Bulldogs, well, yeah, they're in big trouble. I mean, yeah, things are not going their way. They were definitely favourites to beat the Bombers after the Essendon Bombers lost by almost 70 points in gather rounds, so you would have thought that they would have won this game, but they lost pretty badly, and yeah, some red flags are starting to show. The perfect Thursday night game to watch, and well, I think the Bulldogs, I think they will fight back, but I think in this game, St Kilda will get themselves over the line. I think it will be another convincing win for the Saints. I think they will get it done. I don't think it will be a close game this time, so I think that will be something, but I think this loss for the Bulldogs will have big implications for them. But yeah, this will be interesting to see how the game goes. But I am tipping the Saints to win by 27 points, and I'm rating this game an 85 to kick off this round. Okay, so we move down to the Friday night game, and another big game. This is massive. I mean, the Adelaide Crows up against Essendon at the Adelaide Oval. Yeah, this is going to be a cracking game. I mean, the Crows finally, they managed to get a win against Carlton out of all the ways. I mean, I don't know how they did it. They were down by 16 points late in the 4th quarter, but they managed to come back, and yeah, they got a really good win. Whereas the Bombers, I mean, no one saw that coming. We thought the Essendon edge was off, but they managed to beat the Bulldogs in a what turned out to be a pretty convincing win. And yeah, the season continues for them. But yeah, now Adelaide and Essendon have to face each other, and yeah, this sets up for a really massive game. I mean, Adelaide are on high stakes after, well, we thought that they were going to do well this year, and I mean, they got their win against Carlton, who were 4-0 while they were 0-4. Yeah, they got the win, and I think this will be a big part, because I think now they've started to gain this momentum, and they're back at home at the Adelaide Oval, which is why I think they will get this win. I am going to tip the Adelaide Crows to get this game themselves a win. But I think Essendon will pull on the fight this time at the Adelaide Oval. The last time they were there, they got smashed. But I think this time they will be better. And I think the Crows will win by 16 points. And I'm rating this game an 88. Right, so going down here, we have four Saturday games. The first one between Collingwood and Port Adelaide, playing at the MCG. And well, this is not the only Saturday game, but all these Saturday games are massive. This is going to be a massive day, and this is the best way to get things started. I mean, yeah, this will be a really big test for both of these teams. I mean, Collingwood had their bye last week, so they didn't play, but the previous game they played was at Gather Round against the Hawks, and they did really well in the first half, but the second half they almost choked. Whereas Port Adelaide last week against Fremantle, I mean, yeah, they almost looked out of it, but they got those late goals in the end and managed to clutch things up with a win. They definitely needed that win, and it just brings them towards a good position. They currently sit third, whereas Collingwood sit 13th, and yeah, this one's hard to tip. I mean, I'm still unsure on how Collingwood are this year because, well, they were phenomenal last season, but I feel like this year they might have dropped off a bit. And Port Adelaide don't really have the best record playing at the G. I mean, they won it last time at round 2 this year against Richmond, but it's definitely a challenging venue for them. And well, although I will be barracking for Port in this game, I really want them to win. I am actually going to tip Collingwood to get this win. I think they're more of a chance at home at the G. I don't remember the last time they played at the G. I think it was at round 2 or something. They haven't played there in some time, but yeah, I am going to tip them to get the win this game by 22 points, and I'm rating this game an 87. But this game is basically 50-50, I reckon, and just like this next game, I mean, wowee, this game is massive. This might be the game of the round. It's between Carlton and the GWS Giants playing at Marvel Stadium, and Carlton playing back-to-back games at Marvel. I mean, they're starting to feel some pressure after that loss. I mean, it was one of those that they should have won, and they have a tough fixture ahead. And it just doesn't get easier facing the Giants, who are currently undefeated still. They are on a roll this season. They beat the Saints by just 1 point. They were in a comfortable position late in the quarter and then just conceded, I think, 6 goals in a row or something. But yeah, they managed to hold on. Both these teams are definitely premiership contenders at the moment. Yeah, if only Carlton won last game, then both of these teams would have been undefeated. This would have been such a massive game that would have had so much hype. It's not like that, but it's definitely without doubt going to be a really massive game. And yeah, I had a long time thinking about who to tip for this one. But I think with the way the Giants play away from home, they are definitely the best team at it. And yeah, I have to go for the Giants in this game. I mean, it's going to be hard to stop them. I think Carlton will do well, but the Giants, I don't know, they seem to be the more favourites here, and that is exactly where my tip is going. I think it'll be a close game. I'm predicting the margin to be 6 points, and I'm rating this game at 94. This is going to be a big game. Now moving down here, we have the first Saturday night game, and it's at the Gabba between Brisbane and Geelong. We're finally back in Brisbane, and yeah, this is another massive game. I mean, Brisbane, I was so surprised at how they won at the MCG. They never do win there, and they somehow beat Melbourne after being under so much pressure throughout the start of the season. They couldn't win the game at the Gabba, which is the place they play best at, but they can win at a place that they're not good at. Whereas Geelong got a really good win against North. I mean, it was a game against North, and they haven't really faced a team yet that is a top 4 contention at the moment. So this will be a big test for them. But Geelong are undefeated. They are going really well at the moment. They've been playing really well this season so far. Dream start, 5 wins. on the trot, and they look really good. This game is another one of those games where it's hard to tip because this one could go either way, considering recent form. But I have to consider the fact that this game is being played at the Gabba. I mean, Brisbane bring a crowd on a Saturday night. They did lose their past 2 home games, but I think this time it's going to be theirs to win. I think they will get the job done this time. It will be another close game, I reckon. Not as close there. I reckon 14 points is the margin for this game. And I'm rating this game an 89. This sets out to be a massive one. Alright, so we move on to the last Saturday night game, and finally, we have a derby. I think this might be our first one of any kind this year. I mean, the showdown is in round 8, the Carlton Collingwood game is in round 8, the Q Clash is in round 8, and the Sydney derby is in round 8 as well. So yeah, this is the first one. It's between West Coast and Fremantle, playing in the Western Derby, and well, considering West Coast won that game last week, I think this sets up to be a much more interesting game. I mean, a big derby for both of these teams. I mean, great win by West Coast last week. They finally got themselves a win after so long. I mean, they're not sitting in the bottom, but yeah, that's pretty good. Like a pretty good last game from them. That was some much better performance that we haven't seen for some time. Whereas Fremantle, I mean, unlucky. I mean, they had to fly to Adelaide to play 2 games, and both of them lost in really close games. And one of them, I guess you could say they were robbed, but yeah, they were unlucky. They should be 5-0. They play so well at the moment, and I mean, they fell short against Carlton, fell short against Port, and I think they're searching for that win. I mean, they play in these low-scoring affairs, and it does work, but they just can't finish the game off. And well, they're back flying at home finally. They get to face the Eagles. It's definitely a game that they're looking forward to, and well, I think West Coast will play really well in this game. I think it won't be one of those thrashings again. I do think that Fremantle will still get over the line by a fairly decent margin. I am predicting 34 points to go to Fremantle's way by 34 points, and I'm rating this game an 83. And we now head to the last 2 games, and well, quick note, Melbourne and Richmond have their bye. But the first Sunday game is between Sydney and the Gold Coast, playing at the SCG. Yeah, they haven't played the SCG in a while. I think the last time was in round 2. I mean, I can see all the odds going to Sydney, and well, I do think that they are most likely the bigger chance to win this game, obviously, because it's at Sydney. But the last game they played was at Gather Round, and it was against West Coast, and it was definitely not an easy win. They only won by 26 points, I think, against West Coast, and well, I thought it would be much more than that, considering that, you know, it was against West Coast. But as for the Gold Coast, I mean, great win against Hawthorn. They, as I said before, definitely need to make their home as the fortress here, and that's definitely what they're doing at the moment. I mean, if you look in the ladder right now, they're in the 8th. I mean, this is really showing some positive signs here. But yeah, Gold Coast definitely have some trouble playing away from home. And yes, definitely not going to be an easy task, this one. I'm still interested to see how Sydney are going, and I think this game will be a really big test for them, and it will give us a more bigger idea to see how they're really going this season. But this game is going to be really interesting, I reckon. This is going to be really interesting, and well, usually I'll tip Sydney for this one, and I think they'll most likely, yeah, 96% likely to get this win. But I am going to go for a risky tip here, and I am going to predict an upset, and I'm actually going to tip the Gold Coast. I mean, I did some couple tips, risky tips, I think last week or the week before, and it didn't go too well. But Gold Coast, I don't know why, they seem to play well in Sydney, and particularly at the SCG. If you look at their history, they don't play bad there, and you know, I'm going to predict an upset, and this will be interesting. There's a really high chance that I'm going to be really incorrect with this one, but I mean, I have to go for it. It's going to be my one risky tip for this week. And yeah, I'm predicting the margin to be 9 points. And I'm rating this game an 84. This will either be the greatest tip or the worst tip. It's going to be either one. And now we head to the last game. And wow, this game is massive. I mean, it's 17th versus 18th. It's North Melbourne versus Hawthorn at Marvel Stadium. And yeah, someone has to get a win. I'm calling that the loser of this game will be the Wooden Spooner, guaranteed. And yeah, this is interesting. Well, North Melbourne, I mean, they had a not great game against Geelong, but considering that it was at Geelong, and Geelong are doing really well, it's hard to play in Geelong. I guess you could say it's understandable. Whereas Hawthorn, yeah, they got smashed by Gold Coast, which was definitely surprising and not a good look for their club. But well, yeah, this is really interesting. They're playing at Marvel Stadium. It's definitely going to be one of those games, a really important game for both of these clubs. I mean, if they can rise up the ladder and get a couple wins, then this game will definitely be the start for them. And well, considering the previous results so far this season, Hawthorn have been much more closer. I mean, they almost beat Collingwood. They got fairly close against Essendon. Yeah, they definitely look like a much better position than what North are. North would need to work on it, and for that reason, for this last game, I am going to tip Hawthorn to get this win. I do think it will be a close game. I think it will be a seesawing contest, and there will definitely be lots of highlights in this game, but I am going to tip Hawthorn to get their first win by 11 points, and I'm rating this game a 91. And just like that, that is my round 6 tips done and dusted. You can see some risky tips like the Gold Coast one, and overall, yeah, this should be a really interesting round. Look at that Saturday. That's going to be interesting to watch, but I'm going to leave it here for today. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye bye.